The past is not what it seems. Secrets buried, truths forgotten. Welcome to Strange History, where the unknown becomes known.
Welcome back, friends. Today, we're diving into some of the most bizarre and strange rulers and leaders that make the past so unforgettable. Have you ever wondered if today's world leaders are completely bonkers or just plain bizarre? I mean, the decisions they make, the things they say, it sometimes feels like we're living in a real-life house of cards, right? Well, believe it or not, history is full of rulers whose eccentricities and questionable choices make today's headlines look downright ordinary. Buckle up, because we're about to explore 5 of the strangest stories that will make you question what's truly going on behind the scenes of power. Vlad the Impaler, Romania's gruesome ruler. Vlad, a 15th century ruler of Wallachia, modern-day Romania, was notorious for his sadism. His grotesque ruthlessness inspired Bram Stoker's Count Dracula. Vlad was a member of the Order of the Dragon, fighting the Ottomans. His preferred method of execution was impalement, creating a forest of impaled bodies. Over 20,000 people met this fate during his invasion of Bulgaria. Charles VI, the Mad King of France. Now let's fast forward to 14th century France, where we meet Charles VI, a man whose reign was marked by tragedy and madness. Known as Charles the Mad, this king suffered from terrifying seizures and delusions that would make your skin crawl. Imagine being so disconnected from reality that you believed you were made of glass. That's what Charles was dealing with. He lived in constant fear of shattering into a million pieces, convinced that even the slightest touch would be his undoing. His paranoia grew so extreme that he wouldn't allow anyone to touch him. He even had people kiss his bed linens before he slept in them, just to make sure they weren't poisoned. Talk about trust issues. It's a heartbreaking story, really. Here was a man born to rule, burdened with the weight of an entire nation on his shoulders, and he was slowly losing his grip on reality. His reign is a stark reminder that power, even absolute power, offers no immunity from the fragility of the human mind. Next, we venture to ancient Rome, a land where emperors were worshipped as gods. But let's be honest, the title of bizarre ruler could easily go to any number of Roman emperors, but one stands out for his sheer lunacy: Caligula. During his short but infamous reign from 37 to 41 AD, Caligula showed the world how not to rule an empire. Initially adored by the people, his rule quickly descended into a maelstrom of madness and cruelty. After a mysterious illness, Caligula's personality underwent a terrifying transformation. The once promising leader became a tyrant, his actions growing increasingly erratic and cruel. He seemed to have lost all sense of reason and decency. One of his most bizarre acts involved his army. Instead of training for battle or defending the empire, Caligula ordered his soldiers to gather seashells. You heard that right. He sent his legions to the beach like a petulant child demanding tribute from the sea itself. And then there was Incitatus. No, Incitatus wasn't his advisor or general, it was his horse. Caligula doted on this horse like it was his own son. He had a lavish stable built for it, complete with marble floors and ivory mangers. He even attempted to appoint Incitatus as a senator. If that's not a sign of a leader who's lost touch with reality, I don't know what is. Caligula's eccentricities, which included rumors of incest and enough lavish spending to make even the most extravagant celebrity blush, ultimately led to his downfall. He was assassinated by his own Praetorian Guard, proving that even in ancient Rome, there were limits to how much madness the people would tolerate. Speaking of Roman emperors with a penchant for the dramatic, we can't forget about Nero. This guy ruled from 54 to 68 AD, and his reign was a non-stop roller coaster of atrocities and self-indulgence. Known for his cruelty and his alleged role in the Great Fire of Rome, Nero was not a man to be trifled with. Unlike Caligula, whose madness seemed to stem from a break with reality, Nero was acutely aware of his own evil nature. He knew what he was doing, and he seemed to take a perverse pleasure in it. This self-awareness, this chilling calculation, made him even more dangerous than his predecessor. Nero eliminated anyone he perceived as a threat, no matter how close they were to him. His own mother, Agrippina, became a victim of his paranoia, as did his wife Octavia. Talk about family drama. And then there's the Great Fire of Rome. While it's still debated whether Nero actually started the fire, the image of him leisurely playing his fiddle while the city burned has become a symbol of his callous disregard for his people. Whether he started the fire or not, his actions during that crisis cemented his legacy as one of Rome's most reviled emperors. Let's shift gears now and travel to Russia, where we meet Peter the Great, a man obsessed with dragging Russia into the modern world no matter the cost. Peter was determined to transform Russia from a backwards nation into a European powerhouse, and he wasn't afraid to ruffle a few feathers to get there. One of his most infamous decrees involved beards. See, in Russia at the time, beards weren't just facial hair. They were a symbol of tradition, of Russian identity. But Peter, in his infinite wisdom, decided that beards were old-fashioned and made Russia look bad on the international stage. So he imposed a beard tax on anyone who dared to keep their facial hair. Can you imagine having to pay the government for the right to grow a beard? But Peter's eccentricities went far beyond facial hair. He was also known for his bizarre fascination with dwarfs. He hosted lavish weddings for them, complete with miniature carriages and elaborate ceremonies. These weren't just private affairs, mind you. These were public spectacles, designed to showcase Peter's power, and let's face it, his rather strange sense of humor. Peter the Great might have been a visionary leader, but there's no denying that his methods were often as bizarre as they were effective. He's a reminder that progress often comes at a price, and sometimes that price is a whole lot of awkward social gatherings and some very disgruntled, clean-shaven noblemen. Wow, that was a strange and interesting ride through history, wasn't it? From having a horse in the Senate to seashell-collecting armies, we've seen some truly bizarre behavior from the people in charge. It makes you wonder, what were they thinking? Were these leaders just misunderstood geniuses trying to shake things up and leave their mark on the world? Or were they just plain crazy? What do you think about these leaders and their decisions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all things strange, weird, and wonderful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.